It's Real Fit Radio with B
and J.LOU.
If this is your first time listening, welcome. And if you're a returning listener, welcome back.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Be man enough to admit to your mistakes, but be thoughtful enough to correct them. Words of wisdom today.
Okay. So admit, but make some efforts to get better.
Absolutely.
My pet peeve. You know how I am.
Nah, that don't fly, especially if you know you messed up and that was an error in your ways. Correct the error and keep it pushing.
Yeah, that's the worst when somebody says that. When I hear them say it, it's almost like, oh, you want me to dismiss that you are on some bull. I should be understanding and accepting of it too.
Yeah.
No. You know I'm always late.
Mm-hmm.
You know I got a bad temper.
Yeah.
You know I don't know how to budget. Dun, 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 dun.
You silly.
That's crazy. It's like the preface to some bull. Okay. But today's Halloween. We're supposed to record this Monday. I was behind a week. The weeks are flying by, but I thought we had done it already. So here we are.
Well, that's my mistake. I could have said something like, hey, you want to jump on this podcast today? So,
I totally thought that the one we did was for this week, but I'm just going to set reminders. I once I realize what happened today, I'm on top of it. But you're going to make the magic happen. We're going to make it do what it do. As always, you come through clutch. I'm sure this will be, not sure, I know this will be edited and dropping on Monday. We have not missed a Monday and we won't start now. So without further ado, we're going to jump into the meat and potatoes of what we're chopping it up about today. I was thinking yesterday about a bunch of stuff, and one of the things that I was like, oh, I'll wait. And I was thinking about it again this morning. I just been thinking about, are you enough? I think that life in general, with everything going on, can create an energy where you feel like you always have to be working on something with you. And you've said it before, we've alluded to children and older people where they just like, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I don't even think it's so much as I don't care. I think that they embrace who they are. It's like a really good place to be. I almost say like a sweet spot. It's like finding that balance. Like you Nirvana. You see kids running around and they just like belly out, their diapers, they dirty. They're just happy. As quick as they cry, you know, or get upset about something, you'll see them smiling again, you know. And then with older people, not all of them, but the majority that I have had interactions with or been fortunate enough to meet in my lifetime, a lot of them just are very comfortable. It's like, I live my life. This is who I am. But I even stretched that a little bit further. Why, even when I look at things with myself that I'm working on, why would you feel like at some point that you're not enough? Like, am I enough? Am I enough for him, her, society, family, friends? It's just all this stuff, this putting restrictions or a level of expectation on you all the time. This is what you should be doing at this age, and this is how you should look, and this is how you should be living, and this is what the definition of success is, and don't wear your eyebrows or your hair that way or this way. And it's just constant. With marketing, social media, you can really feel like you're not enough. And so it's just an ongoing process. But as a woman, and I mean, hearing your thoughts on it, and we can't speak for everybody, but just speaking from a woman's standpoint, I'll throw it over to you just as a man. Like, do you ever have those thoughts? Are you enough? Or is that something you might be like, nah, that's for the girls. The world makes you guys feel like that.
And I definitely had instances, even as of recent, sometimes where you be like, is it enough? A lot of it is in response to things that I see via social media or in my craft. But for as physical stuff, no, not really. I think I've gotten to the old man situation with that a long time ago. But for as financial status, I feel like is where it's been like, dang, man, am I doing enough, or what am I not doing? Should I be doing more to get there? Am I missing steps? But it's interesting you chose to use this as a topic, because I was thinking about value the whole time. Like, what value do you bring? And I don't mean us, I mean the other person. Mm-hmm. And maybe we can fuse these two things together, because what I find is a lot of the people that's telling you I ain't gonna generalize like that. So I'll rephrase for the people. I find that people that I view sometimes, the ones that be saying what should be done or what you should be doing, when you flip that, be like, what value do you bring?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you bring any value to my life while you over here telling me what I should look like, how I should dress to get this person, how much money I should have to get this type of house or stay in this type of neighborhood to get this type of respect? Like, what value do you bring? And do your opinion even matter to me? Mm-hmm. So with the kids and the older people, with kids, they don't know any better. So that's the perfect place to be in. It kind of alluded to that in the book we read a while back. I butchered the name the last time, but I think it's the things you say to yourself.
When you talk to yourself.
Yeah, when you talk to yourself. And as a kid, you're not being told these crazy things about, oh, yeah, she's fat, or no, 1,000 times 100. They are new to the world, even though they did cry, but they haven't been here long enough to experience what somebody has when they start going to these places like school, college, or even a job, and then voila, social media. Like they're not on that stuff yet. So yeah, they can run around like that unscathed and wear whatever they want to wear, and it's cool. On the opposite side, older people, when they say, I live my life, that time period that we're in, they experience that. Like, I'm never enough in this, that, and other. And they act like Papa, I can't stand it, and I can't stand it no more. So they just said, the hell with it. I'm just going to be me. And they should have did that during that time of their, not, I ain't going to say youth, but during the time when they was in their 20s, 30s, so forth, until the part when people start calling us old. You know, so I'm trying to learn how to stop saying it's easier said than done, because it is easy. We just have to find a solution. So I'll say it like that. We just haven't found a solution, or we have found a solution, and we have to be disciplined in that solution, because it's really simple when you put it together. The hard part is staying disciplined. That's all. So feeding your mind with positive energy, keeping positive energy around you at all times, studying on things that makes you feel good. And at the end of the day, once you start doing that, you start realizing, okay, you like tall men, or you like short guys, or you like this type of woman or that type of woman, and he has to have that type of, okay, well then you go find them. I'm over here. So if you gonna rock with me, rock with me. And let me flip that. What do you bring to the table? Because a lot of times we start looking at ourselves so much, and we forget, like, I'm looking at all the stuff that you saying I don't have, but it's a reflector. It's almost like they throw it to your court because they don't want you looking at them and asking them, well, what do you bring? Because I like this, I like that. And I bet you they ain't got half the shit that you asking for. So that's what I look at sometimes too. I have to bring myself to that center when I start feeling like, am I enough in these areas? Or, man, why ain't nobody checking out my music? Or whatever the case may be. So I look at it, I bring myself back to the center. It's like, okay, first of all, what am I looking for? What am I asking for out of this world? And then secondly, the people that's saying what they're saying, if I really dug deep enough, are you even bringing any value to what I want? Remember we had this conversation like I don't know, maybe year 2, maybe year 3 of us knowing each other, and we was talking about something that somebody said on YouTube or whatever. And it's like, I can't stand. How you gonna say XYZ about women and what you like? And I had to tell you, would that be anybody you'd be talking to? And you was like, you absolutely right. Why am I tripping on what he's saying? I wouldn't even be checking for this dude. So that's like a solution that anybody can add to their list of how do I deal with these things, because we really don't know the people that's saying what we need to look like or what we need to have in order to be the it factor in the world. It's like, okay, I have values over here, so let me check my value list on what I want people and the world to bring to me. And do you even bring that shit to me? If you don't, I don't care what you looking for. What do you think about that? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And I think it's just getting a better understanding. I don't disagree with anything you're saying. One of the things when you were talking and you were saying, and that word keeps coming up, but I think that we unconsciously seek the approval of others. It's just so unintentional. You just do it, especially here. Like out of the country, I think that there's a different standard, but especially here in, we'll say, the United States, then we'll narrow down to California, and then we live in LA. And I don't even want to limit it to the physical stuff. When you say, am I enough? It's almost like reprogramming. I am enough in whatever area you're questioning. And also just being aware of the subliminal things and stuff that's being fed to you. You're not even looking for it, but the physical one we know comes out right away because everything is just, this is beauty, this is beauty, this is beauty. I mean, we see it everywhere we go. So for someone that doesn't fit that standard, they automatically are an outlier, or they know right away you would not be considered pretty. And if you are with someone, those questions can come up in your mind like, am I enough? Or why is this person with me, male or female?
Okay. I wasn't trying to key in on physical aspects because that's why I brought up the music thing, because there's nothing physical about that. It's just the message that's being brought. No. But what are one of the things that you think you ask? And I said you because I'm talking to the listener.
Yeah.
But what are some examples outside of the normal stuff we probably already know, case in point with physical stuff?
You could think, are you enough in the area of parenting? Am I enough as a wife? Am I enough as a friend? Am I enough as an individual as a whole? Like, am I, and I want to say peak, but it's like, am I doing enough? Have I capped off? It's constant. It never stops. It's just like, for instance, you could desire to be fully in your craft, right? You finally get in your craft or you're working in that, and then there's this standstill. If you see what success is around you, or what is the definition of success and where you should be at a certain age, you might start to question, have I done enough in that area? Am I enough?
I can understand.
And I don't even know, and it's really crazy. You guys probably know we do this kind of, I'll mull over some things, but we still are, this is not something that's pre-recorded or we have our bullet points. So I go over, but it's too, am I enough? Am I doing enough? And you have to find a place where you're okay with, I don't care what I see, what I hear, I'm enough. I'm comfortable with who I am. I'm comfortable with the energy and time I'm lending to my passion, being a parent, being a woman, the age I am, the demographic of whether you're Asian woman, a black woman, a Hispanic woman. Even think of that, it can be overwhelming. Sometimes just because of your ethnicity, it's like, are you doing enough? As a woman of this ethnic background, you should know how to cook. You should know how to do this. You should know how to do that. And it's like, dang, am I doing enough in that area? I'm a black woman. I should know how to do this, and that. But that's based on, maybe your grandmother says it to you. Maybe someone says, by the time I was your age, I had 3 houses, traveled, several places out of the country. You start to think about those things. And it's like, dang, I haven't done that. You got to make sure that don't have anything, like you said, to do with you.
Yeah.
Or not only them saying it, and I need to make sure it's not even just hearing it, when they start to create a generalization. At this age, you should be doing this. At this time in your life, you should be doing this. If you have this going on, this automatically comes after. A lot of people, you get married, automatically you should have kids. You guys still haven't had no kids? What y'all waiting on? The pressure of, you're married, have some kids, and it's like, what if you don't want kids? What if that's something you're not even thinking about? If you are influenced enough, you begin to think, well, should I be doing that? Is this enough to sustain what we have? Then it's kids, or is it just us being together and being married? Is that enough? Is it enough just to have 2 cars? Should you already have dropped this many bodies of work? You've already toured? By this age, if you haven't hit, you're not going to hit. You know what I mean? It's just those things. And so that question that came to me, I just kept saying, are you enough? And that's how it came to me. But it's just like, it's okay. And you have to constantly reaffirm you are. And I'm even doing it with different things in my life. That's why have been thinking about this. You have to constantly go over this with yourself. And it's like, I'm enough in this area. I'm enough. It's okay. That has nothing to do with it. Because every day there's going to be something that comes. And like you said, it's you committing to it again, saying, nope, I'm good at this level. And not even this level. This is what works for me. This is my peace. This is who I am. I love this about me. I'm enough. That has, like you said, that's you over there. That don't have nothing to do with me. Or not even specifically saying a person. That is the generalization of the majority. That don't have nothing to do with me,
No, I get it. Those were some good examples that you gave when I asked the question. I want to go back to the point about when you said you do at some point care what everybody thinks. I was listening to somebody a while back and they were saying how it was the dumbest thing ever in his youth to say, I don't give a damn what nobody think. I don't care. And as you get older, and he said he realized that was the dumbest sentiment he ever said to himself. So for me to go back to that, I'm not saying to walk around as somebody that don't care what nobody think, because that's not going to happen. What I'm more focused on is who do I want the approval from? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Once I figured out who I want the approval from, then I focus on doing that for them. And that's even to a degree. You know what I'm saying? Because it's certain things that we won't line up on. But with them, those specific people, okay, yeah, dang, they said they didn't like that, or they said I could have did this better. That's when I'll focus on how can I get that better and do enough in that regard. But for as people in the world saying certain things, it's like, oh, your opinion don't matter, or you ain't even my market. I am doing enough over there. I ain't even tripping on you. But as far as a generalized situation, yeah, I'm more focused on the people I want approval from. But you as a person have to know who those people are, so your lines don't get blurred. Because if you fuse the world with the people that you really want the approval from, you'll be all over the place. And I like everything you said thus far in terms of like trying to find your center in there, because without that, it's harder to do it too. And the value thing, like I said, I just feel like as long as you're always growing and evolving, it's always going to be something there that you're going to ask like, oh, I could be doing this or that, because you're a constant piece of growth. When you said the example of like you reach a certain level in your craft or in your life, and you said you end up hitting a plateau, and it's like, dang, okay, I'm here, but what do I do now? It's like, am I doing enough now? As long as you're trying to grow, it's always going to be something else that you have to do different. Like, for example, in martial arts or Jeet, you know, I take that. In my youth, I have quickness, footwork, all that stuff. But how is it that somebody that's 60 years old can beat me and they're not as fast? They know and realize they have to grow something else in themselves in order to even take out somebody significantly younger than them. Case in point, they may be more direct with their movement, their IQ in fighting, just how they stand or what's their weaknesses. They understand those things, what their strengths are and experience, etc., etc. So they hone in on those things to make themselves better for that age. So anybody that wants to keep creating value for themselves and others, it's always going to be something else that they can do. We just have to hone in on those things for ourselves and not for the world specifically, and just for the people who we want to get that approval from. Because I'd be lying if I was sitting here and say I don't care what anybody thinks. I do care what people think. It's just the people that I have on my mind, like, this is who I want to focus on and get approval from.
Yeah, it can add value. People can add value to things. We add value to money. Mm-hmm. So I know we add value through approval.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so I understand that. I understand that example that you're giving. I don't know. I'll still mull over this, because as I grow, my whole thing is I just want to be like wine. I just want to get better with time. You know, I want to be better than I was at 20, at 25. You know, I just want to keep getting better. So I understand that too when you said growing. And I think also, like you said, if you seek to just really be the best version of yourself, you're constantly thinking about what you're going to
always try to figure out a way to grow yourself. That's inevitable when you want to do that.
Yeah. So I think for me, I become, and I'm sure it could become for others, not only frustrating, but overwhelming when you're just like, that's not it. I'm enough. But as you're still growing, like you said, so you're like, no, I'm not focused on that, but those things are all happening around you too. And you're like, no, I'm enough. And I want to drown out that noise and focus on what I like to do and get better in other areas, and still tune out the rest of all the craziness going on.
Right.
You know, and I think I'm always trying to figure out too, where to harness the majority of my energy. I have these aha moments. I used to think people that work 70, I think Josiah said he worked like 100 and something hours last week.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's putting it in.
Yeah, he worked some like crazy hours like that, and I started to think about a person that worked that many hours, and then we watch these movies, and if it's two people working those kind of hours, and they're a family, or if the husband works those kind of hours or the wife works those kind of hours, what is the other person doing? And how can they still assist the other person? I never want to be a person that gets so engulfed in just me. But it's a balance to it too. Because if you don't, that also can be a problem. You need to be a little selfish, you know what I mean? So sometimes you continuing to focus on others and how you can help grow others and how will this benefit others, you can completely neglect yourself. So those things are going on. You still looking at stay the course, and you're enough. Honestly, if you're a person that's constantly developing in different areas of your life, if you're not, this will be a foreign topic to you. Like, I'm chill. I'll never think about, am I doing enough? I'm that deal. Like, they may think, what they talking about? I'm that person. When I walk in the room, I am the party. That's when it starts. And I get it, but I know more than just one person. You have these thoughts like, am I enough? Or am I doing enough? And I want to get better. I need to make sure I'm doing enough to get better. And you're constantly resetting goals and different things like that. And I hope this all ties into that, because the question, like I said, is just for me, it's like, am I enough of, when I allude to friends, if somebody says, am I enough? And meaning, am I a good friend, mother, wife? Am I a good family member? Am I enough for someone else? Dang, you can't help me in no shape, form, or fashion. But I think about that at different times, and I've reflected on it more as of recent, just with different things, maybe the way, the energy in the world is. But that's all I can add to that topic. And hopefully this has been insightful or something that you actually could put words to. Because sometimes you can't even think of, like, what am I feeling? I just feel like I need to do better here. I just feel like, and it's like, you are. And what you're mulling over is, am I enough? Am I doing enough? That's what you're doing. You're like almost challenging yourself or picking at yourself for different things. And I think some of those areas we just need to be okay with and understand it's a process too, because it doesn't happen overnight. And these are all things we're saying openly, but these are things that I'm coming to a better understanding of, because you hear it, but to understand it is different. You can hear something and don't have the understanding. You can't even grasp the understanding of it because you haven't experienced something. It's like you have the knowledge, but you haven't even lived life. Like you say, live a little longer. But to live and experience some things, you start reaching back like, wait a minute. This hit different. Oh, that's what that meant, So I think for me, those things become a little bit different. And then some stuff is just repetitive learning. It's like, okay, we're back here again. And it's not even so much back like, you went down a level where like you did something wrong. It's just a constant thing that's happening over and over and over again. So you just hopefully are better equipped or have a better understanding of how to grow through it, to embrace it and actually get better. It's like, I know what this is, and this is how I have to deal with this. I know what this is 3 months later, and this is how I have to deal with this. A year later, I know what this is, and this is how I have to deal with this, because it's the same thing. It keeps coming different ways, but it's the same thing. You ever met the same people that got the same type of issues? Like,
yeah, I'm very familiar with people that come with the same type of issues for years and years to come. Every time you meet them, it's like, hey man, what's been going on? Man, you know how it is, same old same, at this whack ass job, or baby mama tripping, etc., whatever. I'm just making up different examples, but yeah, nothing ever changed. You be like, dang man, why don't you just go find another job? Man, I'm already vested. You know how that is, man. If I go somewhere else, I'm gonna have to start all over. And then in my mind, it's like, if it's bringing you that type of hell, you might want to get yourself out of there. And the good thing would be to start over. Or if it's an issue with a relationship, a toxic one, no matter if it's with a girlfriend or a family member or even a friend, it's just like y'all have the same issues. Neither one of y'all try to talk it out and see how that relationship could evolve from the toxicity. Nobody wants to make no changes. All we want to do is stay the same and complain about what the other person is doing.
Or the same energy too. Like when you say, I know what this is. Like you can identify it right away. Like, my sister acts just like that. Or my mom acts just like that. Or I had a friend in school that act just like that. That too, the issues, but that energy. You've met it. And because of your prior experience with your cousin, you know exactly like, oh, I know what this is.
And
I know
it's
how
the
to
same
do.
thing with your inner self. Because I have it a lot. Like, just being transparent, I tell my wife all the time, I would get these crazy ideas that I'd be like, oh, this could work. Or maybe a song that I have in my head and it'd be like, oh, that's going to be dope. And like, if I ponder it too long, I'll talk myself right out of it. Mm-hmm. Or I'll be in a great mood about something that I did and be like, man, this is going to be awesome. And then the next day, this energy in me will dampen what I said yesterday, and then I'll just be in this solemn, dark mood about the same thing I was light about. And so with that being said, with you saying meeting other people that has the same energy level as the one you experienced with before, we all have something in us where we're met with it. Maybe not on a daily basis, but every now and then it creeps and shows its ugly face. And instead of inviting that energy in and letting it take over, you be like, okay, like you just said, I know what this is. Mm-hmm. I know exactly what this feeling. You ain't gonna give me today, partner. Mm-hmm. I got you on this one. Nah, I'm finna go read a positive book. Or I'm gonna go do some affirmations or something. But you ain't finna come in here and say what I can't do.
Right.
So yeah, no, I definitely know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I think it's just repetition. It is a day-to-day battle, but not a battle you went to unprepared.
Yep.
Even hopefully, if this is new to you, hopefully you took something away from this where you are better prepared or have a better understanding of this perpetuated cycle. Because some stuff is not even a bad perpetuated cycle. It's just life. It's just life. Well, this is going to be interesting tonight. I wonder if trick-or-treaters come. I just thought about that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you want to keep this conversation going, or if you have any suggested topics, concerns, questions, anything at all, you can email us at realfitradio@gmail.com. As always, our podcast drops every Monday. You can catch a snippet of the latest podcast on our Instagram at realfitradio. If you're not following us, you definitely should be. We hope this inspired, impacted, or empowered someone. Until next time.